And that was my life changing. Like 2020 wasn't really good for like so many people, but it was a life changer for me.
All right, Z, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, man. We're meeting today. It's basically to give people an idea of how, you met with us, you got in touch with Yellowtail, and you started training with us, and what happened throughout the way. Guys, this is Z. This is a former student and now a TA for us. And tell us a little bit, Z, how did you get into the IT industry? What actually brought you to Yellowtail?
Sure. Long story short, I was a tech and IT enthusiast since I can remember. And I was following the news. I was looking into every single new processor or motherboard or new laptop, these kind of things. That was what I considered myself before working in IT. However, the biggest problem and the biggest struggle I had to land in a job in IT was the lack of maybe mentorship or lack of information that leads me to the career path I wanted to be. I've been struggling for maybe 7, 8 years, working in type of like IT slash retail type of jobs, from selling laptops to the mobile phones and these kind of things. But it didn't like make me satisfied, and I didn't consider myself a IT professional, even if I had a ton of information of different things that wasn't necessarily really useful. And I ended up working with a coworker of mine who was working with us as a part-timer. And his main job was system administrator, Linux system administrator. And he was working with the government at that time. And I'm talking about maybe 2 years ago or so. And he was telling me that, okay, Z, if you're looking for a really professional job and you want to be an IT professional and work on this path for your future, I can offer you to go and join Yellowtail. And I was asking, okay, what's Yellowtail? He started talking to me about Linux, and I was knowing Linux only as a name. I knew Linux is an operating system like Windows. I knew that Linux works with like industrial computer as servers,
Mhm.
and it was about it. Being tech enthusiast wasn't more than like installing my printer or like fixing my Windows issues a little bit here and there using like YouTube. But pretty much I start like studying a little bit more and dive into Linux world and see what Linux is and what this system administration job title technically means. And I ended up meeting Juby. One day, I set up a time with him and I went to his office. And at that time, he was trying to tell me about the basics and what Linux is, what I have to think when it comes to like being a Linux admin. And I was telling him, okay, man, where is the papers? Let me sign it. I waste enough time
I
in my life.
remember. I
And
remember.
yeah, and that's the time.
Actually, I actually remember I went back home that day. I told my wife I was trying to present this thing to a prospect, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm ready." I'm like, "This guy, I think he's gonna make it," because that's the attitude, that's the commitment that actually is required to make this happen. So I remember vividly that day.
And what I'm really like to say, because I know there is a lots of people out there like me that they think they know what they want to do, and they ended up trying for it and struggling for it and learning a ton of maybe not necessarily useful things in IT field and make themselves more like confused about the whole concept. Guys, before you want to learn anything, it's better to go and find out what you want to do. Spending time, spending money, spending part of your life dedicated to like learning something that is gonna end up not working for you is
Mhm.
not the best way. You're just gonna lose your like, passion and lose your time and doing the same thing over and over again without any new outcome. It was
Yes.
my story. The reason that Juby saw a guy who wanted to like cut it off and like sign the papers and start as soon as possible was because I did this through the hard way. I struggled and I learned maybe 20, 30 different type of software that work in like IT and like development
Mhm.
industry. but none of them was helping me to like land in a job I want. And what Juby told me that I was feeling it, but I couldn't like articulate it, was you need to know what you want to do. With Yellowtail, we're gonna tell you what you need to learn, how you need to pass the test, and how you're gonna land in a job. And that was my life changing. Like 2020 wasn't really good for like so many people, but it was a life changer for me. I
Yes.
cannot complain about that.
Yes. Let's tell people about your stats. You actually broke a record at Yellowtail. So you passed the cert and got a job as you were going through your internship inside of 5 or 6 business days after your cert.
Actually,
This
four
is a
business
record.
days. It was
Four
six
business
days,
days.
4 business days. Yeah,
4 business
that
days. This is officially a record.
it was a dream. I'm still living in my dream.
Yes. And also, it's not by accident we have the same shirt. And I want to give people context about that. It's that immediately after, because the first requirement for us to invite someone to become a TA is for them to have a job in the industry. Immediately, you got your job so fast after, and we saw in you the drive, and not only the drive, but the way you interact with the team. And so we invited you to become a TA. So now Z is not only an alumni, but also a TA. And one thing some people don't realize also is that most of our teachers and TAs went through the exact same process. So you will be taught by people who understand where you are currently, what you're trying to do. They've been through the exact same thing, very diverse background, and most of them have no IT background before making the switch. Yeah, I wanted to just give people an idea of how you showed up that day. And I remember, and I said, so who referred you? Like, I don't even remember the names. The only thing I know is today I want to sign up.
Yeah, exactly. Like that was it. I was tired of struggling and learning something that is ended up not getting me what I wanted. And now I try to be a messenger of this message that guys, I know there is so many people out there looking at the future between the pandemic and the job market who's changing drastically and everything going through online. I know so many people out there that they
Yes,
want to do this and they don't know how to. And I
yes,
think the majority of my responsibility as a TA with Yellowtail is not only like helping people with the day-to-day questions they have. I want to give them this perception and I give them this point of view that what they're looking at and what they have to do to get where they want to be. And this is
yes,
the most important part.
yep. And also, not only a TA, you are, on your track to being a full-blown teacher. That's how much, great feedback I get from you from the students. I think you're ready. We're gonna talk about that, but I'm very happy you're part of the team. You are a great example of what's possible. You are a great example of what my vision was for Yellowtail, which is helping people who are not sure where they are, what they want to do, and show them there is a way. There is a very clear way. So 2020, I know not everything was great in 2020, but you passed your cert, you got a job, you got a TA job, and you working on bigger things. So I'm very excited, man. But
That
tell
is the
me,
most important part.
uh,
That like I wanna thank you about that. Like I not only I changed my life and I am living the life I like, also I know what I'm gonna do in the future.
yes,
I like lined up the certificates I want to get, and I
oh
already
yes,
know where I'm gonna go from where I am right now. And this wouldn't happen without Juby and like his team. Honestly, like Thierry, Allen, all you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. I might be a part of teachers group right now, but I still see
mhm,
myself somewhere in between. And I
yes, yes,
can tell
yes.
you without the help of Yellowtail team, I will do the same thing over and over again, and I was getting the same results. Thank you guys.
Great, great. I'm glad. But tell us a little more about what do you do? What do you do on a day to day? Tell us a little bit because now you're literally in your office, which is home,
Yep,
which is the
exactly.
whole beauty of this new world we are in. Tell us a little bit. Give us an idea about your work there.
Okay, what I do right now, I am a Linux system admin with a company that work for a multinational company right now, and like our client had data center on all around the world from United States all the way to Australia. And basically what we do is like maintaining their vCenters using
Hmm.
VMware machines. And they have Linux and Windows machines. They require some new one. They need some updates. They need maintenance and also like creating new machines. And that's what we do for them pretty much.
Yeah.
My daily base is like checking my email, checking my ticket, go through my ticket, join the conference call, enjoy the rest of my day.
Yes, and that's the fun part of it, without ever getting out of your pajama pants.
Nope, that's what I'm
Most
wearing right
importantly,
now.
I know you are. That's the best part. A lot of people don't even start imagining. That's what it is. You just roll out of bed, you show up to your office, and this is what things look like for the near future.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to work from home, be able to have the flexibility while doing something that
Mhm.
pays well
Yeah,
and that you enjoy. So
exactly.
thank you, man.
That's
Thank
the
you.
most
Thank
part.
you.
Thank you. Thank you. It wouldn't
Yes.
happen without you guys. Thank you. Thanks for
All
everything.
right, man. So I just want to give people a different perspective every time. You were an IT enthusiast before coming into Yellowtail, and some people came in with zero IT background. And
Yeah.
there is a spectrum of students, that come through and that make it big. Thank you. Thank you for doing that little conversation with me today.
Thank
Okay.
you.